All right, welcome back. We've got our weekly stock market update. We didn't get an update in last week, so we got a lot to talk about here. The S&P, the Nasdaq, the markets in general having a nice bounce back. I believe the last time we spoke, we were in danger of breaking this trend line, but we've had a real nice bounce back up. I think the Nasdaq's a better representation of when we talked last. We were making these series of lower highs, lower high, lower lows, and now we've reversed that trend these last couple of weeks. We are not quite making higher highs, but we've reversed this trend of lower highs. So we broke out of this downtrend that we were in, this few week downtrend, and broke above that and didn't really look back. So we are getting into the thick of it when it comes to earnings. We'll talk about a couple earnings plays that happened this week. But good to see the markets recovering here. Let's take a quick look at the Dow Jones. Another nice push up here as well. Again, kind of slow bleed. Quick ricochet back up. And look at the Russell 2000. A little bit less of a bounce back, but a nice move nonetheless. Let's take a look. Crude oil. Nice pullback on crude oil. I think that was just another bounce in this downward trend that we're in. To me, that's what that looks like, is we just another bounce, pullback, bounce, pullback, bounce, pullback, bounce, pullback. So I expect hopefully a little bit more of that, and that'll help with some of the inflation pressures. Oil's an interesting topic because you're hearing right now the drill baby drill, but the problem is the economics of drilling. These companies don't want to drill. It costs them more money to drill and flood the market with supply because they're going to be selling oil for $60 a barrel. If they're break even, if it costs them $70 a barrel to drill, they don't want to drill. When oil is $100, then they'll drill baby drill because their cost is still $70. So unless these companies can drastically get subsidized or bring their costs down drastically, they don't want to drill. They're not incentivized to drill. They're more incentivized to do buyback, pay down debt, things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how much drill baby drill is going to actually happen, because the fundamentals of it for these companies is not quite there unless there is big tax breaks or incentives, which maybe that's what gets the cost of oil down. So we'll have to wait and see. Gold nearing all-time highs, almost broke it today. Getting real close on gold. Let's take a look at the dollar pulling back nicely. That's good to see. That's going to help the bull market and the stock market continue to roll on. And the 10-year treasury with a little bit of a pullback here as well. We will see what happens here. It's going to be interesting. We need to see more follow through. It's a tiny little pullback here after this big move up that we've had, but that is good to see. I want to look at mortgage rates back under 7%, so that's good as well. So other than that, some new names, or some names we'll talk about briefly. Nvidia near an all-time high this week. The SMH looks good, getting back up there, hasn't done anything in a long time. Tesla had a real muted week this week. Earnings coming up next week. Amazon hit an all-time high this week. Congratulations, Amazon holders. The Qs looking pretty solid as well. SoFi doing real well. I bought some SoFi shares this week. They have earnings next week. I have some puts. So if SoFi gets below $16, I will be adding to that position. I've been using SoFi for a handful of years now, and they've always just been a very solid company for me, and the fundamentals are looking better each quarter, each year. So we'll see what happens here. It really wouldn't surprise me if this drops 20% after earnings, but it also wouldn't surprise me if it pumps 20% after earnings. It's been on quite the move up here since July. Can't believe it was $6. So we'll have to wait and see there. Google breaking out. I believe it hit an all-time high, 203 this week. That's not quite the all-time high, but regardless, looking good. iBit nearing all-time high. Bitcoin did hit an all-time high over the weekend, and it's holding up pretty well here over the $100 range. So that's good to see as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the news from this week. The S&P did pop over all-time high Dow Jones doing well, Nasdaq doing well. We had some inflation numbers last week. Those came in line, cooler than expected. Jobless claims unexpectedly rose a little bit this week. So I didn't really pay too much attention to this economic data. The market didn't really react to a lot of it. The market was reacting more to some of the new announcements from this new administration. And then also Netflix had their earnings. They were the first of the big tech companies, and they looked like they did really well. I have yet to listen to their call, but it looks like they added 19 million new subscribers in the fourth quarter. That's a ton. So I'm looking at these numbers for the first time as well. 19 million in the quarter, that's great. Ending 2024 with 301 million subscribers worldwide. I think I heard them say that they're raising the price on one of their ad tiers, I think $1. When you think about that, it's like, $1 for 200 million people. That adds up. Revenue, 10 billion, surpassed 10.1, so a little bit of a beat there. So I think the big deal there was going to be the added subscribers. That's a big jump there. Raising subscription price in the United States, Canada, Portugal, Argentina. So that's interesting. So good quarter out of Netflix. We'll see if that follows through with some of these other tech names. Tesla's going to be interesting. I don't expect a killer quarter. I think the big question for Tesla is going to be their profitability and what that looks like there. Did they continue to improve on some of their manufacturing processes, and how well will energy help out? Because we do know that they delivered less cars than last year. So there could be a hit on revenue. The question is going to be their profitability and the earnings per share. So we will definitely do some videos on Amazon or Tesla starting next week. This was the big news, and I'll be doing a lot more research on this weekend, this Stargate project. So President Trump unveiled the Stargate project with $500 billion in our artificial intelligence infrastructure, and that is in collaboration with OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, Microsoft. Obviously, NVIDIA is going to be a beneficiary of that. But this is to build data centers in the United States and other AI infrastructure, energy to support it. So that is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I do have a report here that we'll just skim through some of it. I tweeted this profile. I had Google Gemini create a deep dive report on this Stargate. And for me, I have a monkey brain, so I have a hard time sitting down and reading things, especially with all these screens in front of me. So what I did is I went to Speechify, and I had Speechify read this document to me. I'll give you a quick sample, and then we'll scroll through this. But if you want to see this for yourself, go on to my Twitter. My Twitter handle is mp3fitness24, or you can find Matt Pedersen. I tweeted the link to this where you can download Speechify. I think they give you a free trial. Or it's like $100 a year. For me, this thing has been very useful because I can throw in any document, any audio, or any Kindle book, and I can go on my walk, I can go do a workout, I can do stuff around the house, and I can listen to documents where in the past I'd have to sit down and read. Not that I'm against reading, it's just I only have so much time in the day, and this helps a lot. So here's a quick sample.
Stargate Project, a deep dive into the Billion AI Infrastructure Initiative. The world of technology was set ablaze this week with the unveiling of the Stargate Project.
So you get the concept. You can throw in a document and have it read out. I have Gwyneth Paltrow reading this to me, and I listen to stuff on 2x speed. But let's go ahead and look at some of these insights here. Let me zoom in for you. Looks like the operational lead is OpenAI. The financial lead is SoftBank. The technology partner is going to be Oracle. They're going to be building and operating data centers, leveraging its expertise in data management and cloud infrastructure. I don't know who MGX is. Well, so this is a Abu Dhabi-based technology investment firm contributing financial resources, so they're helping funding as well. Obviously, you've got NVIDIA, Microsoft, and ARM as technology partners. NVIDIA is going to be supplying GPUs, hardware, to power the AI infrastructure. Microsoft will be doing the cloud computing with Azure, and then ARM is going to be providing expertise in energy efficient processors for AI applications. Pretty interesting. When we keep scrolling through, There's another piece that I thought was interesting. The part I didn't really realize was how much, obviously we know OpenAI and Microsoft have their partnership. I did not know that the cloud computing was going to Microsoft. That's a big deal. So I'm going to have to take a double look at Microsoft and see where they're at valuation-wise, and maybe put that on the shopping list, figure out what price I'd like to pay for that. Let's see here, political landscape, challenges, skepticism, yada, yada, yada. So I did listen to this already. I thought it was very interesting. But if you want to listen to it all yourself and look at the links that they cited from, you can do that. Go follow me on Twitter. But to me, I think the biggest takeaways here are going to be this page right here. And we will see how soon this funding rolls out, how long they drip it out. Is it going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 10 days? Who knows? And then it'll be interesting to see what other companies are going to be beneficiaries of this. They did talk about a lot in this document about healthcare and AI and the potential to spot cancer. That's one thing that Oracle CEO talks about a bunch. I've heard him talk about it multiple times, is the potential for AI to speed up the detection of certain disease, and then also speed up how we treat certain cancers and other illnesses. And we're still supply constrained on that. But if you've got $500 billion being thrown at all different types of sectors, it sounds like healthcare is going to be one of those sectors. And if you watch my previous video, someone else in the government has just made a new stock purchase in Tempest AI, which is a healthcare AI company. So that's on my homework this week as well. If I find something interesting, maybe I'll do a video on that. But to me, that makes a lot of sense. Instead of people just talking to AI and using these language models for sending emails or putting together reports, it makes sense for healthcare industry to really take on some of these tasks, and that's going to help everybody's well-being and health. So I love to see that some of those things are a priority here, not just these chat bots and things like that, but the fact that they're going to throw money at this and they're going to try and implement it in the healthcare industry. So there's a lot of research to do here. Obviously, this is just week one of the new administration, but it is interesting to see how many partners and people are getting involved here and how much that will continue throughout these next 4 years. So that is really all the big news that we have from this week. Let's take a quick peek at what is to come for next week. I do know we're going to have some big earnings, but I think the Fed is also going to speak. We had the Davos meeting. I declined my invitation to the Davos seminar this past week. So nothing too interesting for me came out of that. But as far as next week, we do have Fed funds rate. So the Fed is either going to hold or cut rates next week. We've got GDP numbers, employment claims, we've got PCE. So there's quite a bit of data next week. On top of all the earnings, I know we have Tesla, I think Amazon as well. But regardless, there'll be plenty to be paying attention to next week. So stay tuned for next week's Tesla earnings video and also stock market update. That's all I got for you guys this week. Have a great weekend and peace out.